Hey, and welcome back to Dream Chasers on Between Us Girls. I am your host, Michelle, or Sheba, Michelle Sheba, however you like to refer to me. I am excited about this episode because I am going to be talking to a lady I have known for a little while now. We actually did a podcast collabo, I think it was a couple years ago,
Yeah.
and I'm super excited about bringing her to the collective with her new platform. So her name is Kim, and she is the master of many things. She is like the social media branding expert of my dreams. And she's also a podcaster and a mom. So we are bringing her today to talk about her new platform, Brown Girls Meditate. So, Kim, I'm going to let you introduce yourself a little bit and talk a little bit about you.
Well, thank you because you really hyped me up, sis.
You're welcome.
No, but I was thinking, most people probably, if they know me, know me from Kimmy Inc., where my digital marketing agency, where I work with small brands and businesses to just kind of help them be bomb on social media. So that's one of that's my full time gig.
Mm.
Hallelujah. And then I also have Sit With Us podcast, where we have been on a good hiatus, but we are finally back, where we talk about pop culture and politics, and we drink wine and just have a good old kiki. So
A good old Kiki.
a good old. We be talking so much mess, but you find gems in there. We also give you good info.
Absolutely.
So I do that as well. Yes, mother to two boys who are the love of my life, but also, Lord, just keep me lifted as they are in middle school.
Mm-hmm.
so, so there's that. And now Brown Girls Meditate, which is my passion project. It's been my baby, is my calling, and it's something that I've been sitting on for years and kept putting off until I just couldn't anymore. And I started my Instagram account for this community, like I think 2018 or something like that. But I didn't actually start putting posts up really until this year. And that's when I've seen it to start to grow and take off. But I really wanted to create this community for women of color to learn about meditation, to learn about other spiritual practices that we may have been shunned away from as in our youth.
Absolutely.
And just to have a community where we can uplift and empower each other, because there are so many negative things for us Black women that we are dealing with on a day-to-day. This is our safe space.
Wow.
So, yeah.
I feel like this is all synchronicity because as I came into my spiritual awakening, I mean, I guess what I do, I always feel like it's hard for me to define it because
Mm-hmm.
I kind of just take pieces from wherever I feel like I like it, and then I mash it up, and then I make magic from that. So I do, I I do think this is synchronicity because I just said last night that what I really wanted this network to become, and I'm calling it a network because I plan to have other people run their shows on my feed, because why should I just take all the love, you know?
Share it.
Yeah, like anybody who wants to run a show there, I'm like, please come. But I want it to be brown and Black women experiencing spirituality in various ways
Mm-hmm.
and just sharing their messages with our community, because we're not getting that. What do we see? Even though I don't agree with everything that Kamala Harris says or stands for, that's still a Black woman trying
Still.
to do something.
And my
And
sorority sister, Stevie.
yeah,
Yeah.
my mom is an AKA.
Yeah.
So, like, I feel like she's fully capable of doing the job, but it's like people keep putting obstacles for her to jump over to prove that she is capable.
That she's Black enough, that she's like that. Why do Black women have to be perfect in order to lead? Like,
Why? Especially when we have gone through so many things. Like, we have all the credentials,
mm-hmm.
every single one of them, because we are the ones who do the majority of the work here. You know, like if you
Say
need
it.
something done, you call a Black woman to do it.
You
And
need someone on the front line. It's us for
yeah,
everybody.
yeah. And so it really, it's been speaking to me that I need to really just bring this and say, this is for us.
Mm-hmm.
This is for us. Like, yes, I want to be able to help everybody reach their divine femininity, but this is for us. That's why the next season, the season that we're recording right now of Dream Chasers, is for us. It's
Yay.
for Black women. It's for us to talk about us and to do our thing. So I'm really grateful for you and appreciate you being here.
I love it. And like, I know when I started my spiritual journey, and like, there are people that I still love, but I was seeing the Wayne Dyers and the Gabby Bernsteins and all these people who I love their material, but I was like, where's somebody who looks like me, who's teaching me about affirmations and meditation and manifestation? And I just didn't see it as often. So I was like, well, I guess that means I got to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. So is that what led you to really want to create this platform? As you felt like there was space for you to fill in there?
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, when I was really in my, and I'm still a baby, it's a practice, right? They call it a practice for a reason. But like in my very, very infant stages, like I said, the books that I was drawn to, I've always been the self-care, self-help aisle of the bookstore. And I never saw people like me. And even now, I still kind of, when I'm looking for books, which I actually have this one I'm super excited about that I'm reading right now.
Okay, pussy prayers.
Yes, this is where I'm at right now. But like, just finding more books like this that speak to me and speak to my experiences. Because what I realized is that when I sit down to meditate, not only am I just trying to release like the day's stress, but I'm trying to, escape from racism and sexism and just all the weight of having to be a superhero. And so, and the strong Black woman trope and all of these things that I'm trying to release through this practice. And so it's different for other people who don't share our experiences. And so although like some of the advice that they were giving was great, I needed just a little more soul to it, a little something else. So that's why I wanted to make this space to, kind of, and to simplify the process too, to demystify what this all looks like, because it's not as hard or challenging as people think it is to get the things done.
Right. And actually, this is a white woman, but she was on my platform and really she is a social justice warrior. So like, say what you want about her, but she go to the mattress for Black people. And so much respect. But I saw her saying this morning that she felt like, are you a Virgo?
No, I'm an Aquarius.
Oh, you are? Okay. She was just saying that she felt like Virgo breaks it down. And when it comes to understanding spirituality or how to, connect to your consciousness or whatever, people need it to be simplified. Because when I first started, I was like, that is impossible for me.
Where is it?
Man, can you explain it to me in a way that I can really get it? So that's why I started using music, because it was an easy way for me to hit that emotion that I was really looking for to kind of get out of the rut. And I still use it. And I think everybody should be able to find their way.
Right. And that's what is important to me as well, to make sure that you can follow me, but you don't have to do it just like I do it, because everyone's spiritual experience is their own. And I really want to push that it's your individual experience, it's your connection, and however you get there, if it's through the music, if it's through sound bowls like we were talking about, or sage, or whatever else you need to do, like even if it's not my thing, do whatever grounds you and makes you feel connected to your higher power in your next sense. And I think that's another thing that we have to break through too, are like the stigmas and the stereotypes of doing some of these things, because I grew up Pentecostal, Pentecostal holiness of the apostolic faith. And let me tell you, if they heard that I was wanting to sit around and do some meditation and manifestation and bringing things to
so you
like my thoughts, they're like, what kind of devilish mess? So it took a lot for me as well to like retrain my brain that I am not wrong. I'm doing what I've been called to do. And
exactly. Same. Like when I started cartomancy and reading playing cards, my mom was like, I feel like I've been talking about this like every time I talk to somebody this week. Sorry, Mom, but it's the truth. She was
we gotta know.
I mean, she was like, just make sure you're giving the glory to God. And I'm like, but I also am God. So which part of this is bad? You know what I mean? Like, if I'm just giving the information that's coming through me and I'm not telling you something wrong, I'm not sending bad energy, because I mean, I think if there's nothing wrong with people who do that kind of work, if that's what they do. I know some people who do it,
Oh
because
yeah.
sometimes it's
I'm
necessary,
off
I
the
guess.
record.
Right. I mean, sometimes it's necessary.
Hmm.
I don't participate in it because I don't understand it enough to be messing around with it. But
Hmm.
what I do is not that. And so I'm just like, don't introduce that to me. And that actually stopped me from my growth at that time.
Hmm.
So it took me a little bit to get back into the space that I was in when I felt comfortable learning and being myself, because I didn't want my mom to be like, "You're a witch." Well, yeah, but why you got to make it sound like that?
Right, right. But that's what we've seen in the media and everything
Right.
like that. And I won't speak too much on it because I don't know. I don't know a lot about that side, but that's something I want to learn more about.
Hmm.
So I feel like, I don't know. I'm a conspiracy theorist at heart too. And I just feel like a lot of those gems and things were hidden from us for a reason, because it's the power that we need to really be successful while we're here.
Yeah.
And like, no, we'll just save some of these tips and secrets for the elite, and we'll tell everybody else this is bad.
Well,
This
they're
is,
the ones who are using it.
yeah.
They're the ones who are using it, like the Rockefellers
Yeah.
and those people who have all the money. Those people know how to
They
perform.
know the secret, not even the video that they released for us to see, because that was like some tidbits to the secret, but
Yeah.
they know the juice and it's been
Yeah.
hidden.
And I think the more you tap into yourself and just follow where you feel led, like if by books or looking at videos and things like that, you will start to unlock within yourself the information, because we came here with it,
Hmm.
you know?
Yeah, it's a remembering. That's
Yeah.
what I always say. I'm remembering where I came from, or remembering who I was in the beginning. And so it's just on my website, with it's coming home to yourself. It is
Mm.
what my tagline is, because I think we all have to have that moment where we come back home and we remember who we are and what our mission, our soul mission was when we came to this earth. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Like, and just getting back to the tools to help us really bring that to life.
Absolutely. And I think, like, I've recently been, and this is because something I saw, which made me want to go research, because that's usually how it works.
Hmm.
But I saw in July, which I was already feeling like, this is a time for healing. It's super healing, super healing hour. But I saw that Chiron went retrograde in Aries, which he is the wounded healer. So,
Okay, I was gonna say, now break it down for me. You gotta explain it now.
so he's like a centaur. Well, in Greek mythology,
Hmm.
a centaur who was wounded by Heracles' bow. Now, he had supernatural healing powers. He could heal everybody but himself.
Hmm.
So ultimately, Zeus made him a constellation, and that's how he ends up in everyone's chart. So in my chart, Chiron is in my first house in Gemini, which is pretty much all the work that I do: communication and speaking to people and teaching people and giving other people the healing in the same place that I'm healing myself, right?
Wow.
And the wound is created very young, which that wound is in feeling judged, not able to speak, or having to hide yourself because you feel like people are gonna, pick at you.
Oh my gosh. I wonder what mine is. Who's doing charts? You do charts.
I can look at it for you. I can look at it for you. I'm not no expert yet, but I can definitely look at. I think what I might actually end up doing is just looking for people's Chiron and telling them what they need to go fix.
Yes.
Instead of just like saying, "Let me read your whole chart." Just let me help you a little bit, get you what you need for that.
This will get you going. This will,
Yes.
yeah, you can do the rest.
I mean, because he's going to be retrograde until December the 14th or something like that. So, like, we have all this time, a few months, I guess like 4 months or so, to really be digging into that wound and finding out what it is that you need to be overcoming.
Oh wow, this is
So,
good.
yeah, so I have been, just looking at that, and I did this inner child hypnotherapy session yesterday, which my friend Fernando had gifted me. And that was an epic experience. I will just say that, because,
But what was it like? What happened?
oh my gosh. So she took me to a place in my childhood. I was about 13. I think I was about 13. And my sister is really the person who kind of created a lot of the negative image I had for myself, the
Mhm.
self-hate really. But she was making fun of me because I was fixing my hair. And I was like, that's what she always used to do, is mess with me for like, like looking at myself or feeling good about myself. All
Mm.
the things that would pump me up, essentially.
Aw.
Yeah, so I was just a self-hater and I was like, nobody likes you. You're ugly. You shouldn't care about how you look. You're ugly anyway. It's just all the things that she really kind of helped me to
Was
feel.
probably feeling about herself. Like,
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah.
But I think she's beautiful and I think she could could really be a lot greater if she would allow herself to move past that trauma that she has. I don't know where it came from. It's for her to figure out. Oh, let's find out where Chiron is in her chart.
Right, right. Come on, sis, sit down. I need to
Oh,
start
right.
because
Well, so we went to the place where she hurt my feelings that day. And then she took me as an adult to the little girl to comfort her and to have this conversation. And it was really incredible because I felt like there were things that I also told myself as an adult that I needed in just having fun and relaxing and not worrying. And she was like, don't worry about money. Just go have fun. I'm like, girl, you don't have no kids yet, baby. like you,
yeah, you
but
fine.
but I received it because I know that's really the truth is that I'm too worried about the outcome of so many things.
Mm-hmm.
And even just in the one day since then, I've been more open and allowing and just relaxed. So I'm like, I don't know, like this is another white woman, but I'm like, bitch, you look her magic.
Right, and that's the thing. I would like. Where are our Black spiritual healers who will do that same kind of therapy? Because sis, that just made me think. I was like, oh, I probably need to go back in my day too. I know I do. I
And
know
actually,
I
this girl I used to work with who is Black said that she was training to do that. So I think we're coming up now.
do. Mm-hmm.
People
And I
are
think even
rising.
right now, even with the quarantine and everything like that, I think that's also giving people more time to just kind of really dive into their spirituality or see that, you know what, I don't really like the path that I'm on right now. What else is out there? I'm sure there's more. And I've noticed that even in my personal circle of friends, like we have a group chat and Zoom and all that. And that was one of the conversations about how we all feel as if we're coming into a new
Yeah.
level of our spirituality and like we're just learning new things about ourselves. And I was like, wow, great, because I was scared to say all the things that I've been reading and thinking about, and they're like,
Really?
no, us too. So I feel like there's this awakening that's going on just everywhere.
I think that's what 2020 is for.
Mm-hmm.
And
That's the vision.
yeah, I think that's what it's for, is for people to start realizing that this material just doesn't matter. And we don't have to be tied to it. And we can create whatever we want.
Absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely.
we can create whatever we want. All we have to do is really get connected on a spiritual level and believe, because that's really how I make my manifestations. And it bothers me sometimes when people are like, oh, well, you're not super rich. How can you be good at manifestation? Well,
Right.
you can manifest other things. I can manifest people.
I
Or
manifested my husband. I
see,
manifested my whole husband. And so nobody can tell me anything. Yeah, I don't have my mansion yet. But guess
yet.
what? It's in the same journal. So I'm
Mm,
like the same journal that brought this entire person to my like life. There's nothing. There's nothing. And I was actually thinking about that today because I have a certain manifestation that I am like visualizing right now, but I have a block
mm,
because I've manifested certain amounts of money and I'm comfortable in that area. But now that I want to take it up a notch, it's like there's a block of, well, oh, can I really do that? Or how can I help this along when there's nothing I need to do, right? There's
except for
nothing,
get out of the
no
way.
business idea that I need to create. It's going to come to me and and it might not even come through my business. It might come, I don't know.
Some
I
other
don't need it
way.
to come through my business. To be honest, I don't want to do that much more work. So if it could come another way, that'll be awesome. But
Yeah.
thing, and people always start to look, that's when they start to look at me crazy when I start talking about, oh yeah, you can manifest it if you would write it down and visualize. And I do visualization meditations all the time. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you are like, I mean, my son and I actually had that conversation yesterday, and he's 10, and I try to pour into them things that I didn't get. And
Mm-hmm.
so we were watching a video where this uncle was playing a prank on his nephew that he had bought him this G-Wagon. But he did it because he's like, I believe in manifestation. He said, and I need him to see the G-Wagon. I need him to feel it. I want him to drive around in it. But he can't keep it yet. But
Yeah.
eventually he's going to be able to get it because now he can visualize it. He's seen it. And so my son was watching it, and I said, so what did you get from this? And he was like, I can have whatever I want. And I was like, you can.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I said, baby, if you want a helicopter one day, you,
You can
like,
have
it just depends on what. And the funny thing is, one time we were, this is so off subject.
We don't have a real subject, girl.
Okay, good. So one time we were riding around going to church, and we'd all talked about the type of cars we wanted. Because I'm like, yeah, one day I'm going to have my Audi and da-da-da. And he was like, he wants a red Range Rover. On the way home, red Range Rover. We see it. The next day, we're going to like Chicken Express or something. Look, another red Range Rover. And it's like, now we're seeing them everywhere. And I said, baby, that's the power of your mind. Now we see them all the time. Because it's yours. It's trying to get to you, even though you can't drive yet.
Right.
Right now, I feel like you're at your most powerful anyways, because your imagination hasn't been blocked yet.
Right.
You're still in a good space.
Exactly. And you know, like I've been working with my son. He's 15, so he has more layers of crap. And I was his parent when I was well, I wouldn't say I'm not healed because I'm still healing, but when I was unhealed, I mean, we just didn't live that type of lifestyle. And I had a lot of negativity and a lot of limiting beliefs and a lot of that outward speech that was like, oh, this is terrible, or oh, this isn't going to go, or whatever. So not only am I having to retrain myself, but now I'm like, don't say that. Don't say that. Say this, or try this, or do this instead. And I think he's making some progress. Like, really, one of the things that he wanted to manifest for himself was honor roll at school. So he did it. And he wanted to make the basketball team. And like, even though those are not like astronomical manifestations, that's still something that he put his focus on, and it came to him. So I was like, this is what I'm talking about. Like, this is what you did with,
you can have anything you want.
Yeah, just your focus. And you went out there, you practiced, or you went to school, you showed up. That's all you have to do. If you say, this is what I want, just do your part. Just do your part in it. And the more you put the momentum out there for it, is more that it's going, okay, I'm on my way. I'm on my way. I'm on my way. Yeah. And so, I mean, I think for me, it really starting this was about my kids and just wanting to be a better parent, because I wouldn't say I was a bad parent, because I don't want to beat myself up about it. But I don't think I was doing the best job I could do, because I was anxious and depressed. And when you're
young,
yes, girl. And when you're in that state, it's hard to love yourself. You know.
And that's kind of where it came from me as well. Like, I started really getting into meditation and manifestation after my divorce from my son's father. And it was just a really hard time. I just turned 30. I had quit my career, and I was a stay-at-home mom, right? So like, this all came out the blue, where all of a sudden it's like, what? We're getting divorced. What am I going to do? What am I do? Now I've got to go back to work. What am I going to do with these little kids? And your girl was so anxious. Like, I couldn't sleep at night. Like, some nights I was just waking up with like knots in my stomach, and like, I just knew I wasn't being my most authentic self. Like, I was waking up, like I said, anxious. I was gaining weight like ridiculous. I was just, habits were poor. I was going out all the time just to try to ease my mind, and just everything just so unhealthy. And it wasn't until one night where I couldn't sleep that I went down a YouTube rabbit hole. And I was just like, I just need something, hypnosis, something to help me. And I found like affirmations. And I was like, okay, I'll listen to these. And then like after I listened to that for a while, you know how it goes to the next video, it went to like a guided meditation. I was like, meditation, that's what they be doing. And I always thought of like monks and all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. I was like, what is this? Okay, I'm gonna try it. Most peaceful night of sleep I'd ever had. And then I was like, okay, so what is this? So I started Googling and researching. And then next thing I know, that's how I started with guided meditations. Started just looking up more of them and finding people whose voices I really liked, or who like, or for certain situations where there was anxiety or for peace or healing or whatever it was. And then I just started doing it all the time. And I was telling my friends, I was like, have y'all heard of this? Have y'all tried this? Go to this page on YouTube. They're like, no, Kim, whatever. Until now. Now
Yeah.
people are like, oh wait, you're glowing different, you're acting a little different. Let me see what you're talking about. But yeah, it came from a place of really just needing some deep healing that led me to it. And I call it a wonderful, beautiful accident, because I had no idea. I wasn't looking for it. It found me.
Girl, ain't no accidents. It'd be like,
Right.
it's just what you need at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Just what you need especially when you are in a state of low-key desperation.
Oh,
Like,
super.
the universe will be like, please take this. Please take this. Please
And
take it.
yeah. And it's so crazy because I remember too, like even like a couple of days leading up to that, I had gotten a really bad accident. Like a rollover accident. I was still living in Oklahoma at the time, and I was coming back from Dallas, and I got this vision. I was telling you, I got a vision. And while I was on the road, I saw myself walk into this room full of beautiful brown girls, little young girls, and they were all sitting on the floor cross-legged. And like they were really happy to see me, and I came and I gave some type of speech, and then I walked out and got in my car to go to my next event. And I was like, Lord, I don't even know what I'm doing. What is that? Because right at that time I was like a secretary somewhere. So I was like, what's that going to be? And all I heard was,
you can say it, and he said
and then what he said, and I hate saying he. That's a whole nother thing. But anyway,
I usually say they.
Yeah,
sometimes I say he. It depends on who I'm talking to, because I try not to disrespect people who feel really rigid about their beliefs, because I'm not trying to get into a fight.
You're right. I don't have time.
Right.
It's just a habit that I'm personally learning to break.
Well, I mean, if that's how you first connected,
yeah.
I mean, that's yeah. Say what you gotta say. Like,
say what
however,
you gotta say. I know in the end, Divine does not care. He's like, you made up he and she anyway. I didn't make that up anyway.
Okay.
That's a whole nother thing. But like, so I was like, I got the question, do you accept? And I said, I accept, right? About an hour later, I'm riding and my wheel completely flies off my car, like the axle breaks. My car rolls over. I know I'm about to die because I'm coming up on a bridge. So I was like, oh, okay, I'm about to go over the bridge. And I said, so this is how it happens. And I literally was the most calm I'd ever been, because there was nothing I could do. Everything was out of my control. And I always say, I saw the grass and I saw the sky. And that's what I saw. And I was like, okay, I'm going over the hill. It was nothing but the grace that brought me from going down the hill, brought me back onto the interstate, and not only on the interstate, but right on the side. Like if you had pulled your car over, I landed perfectly within the line. Makes zero sense, right? And so
you gotta do this meditation thing. You can't die yet.
All of my stuff had gone over the bridge. Like people came and stopped and helped me. They went down there, was picking up all my stuff, and I was just like, oh my God, I'm alive. But God, I said I'd do it. So why were you trying to kill me? Right? So I went and spiraled into like a depression because I didn't have a car anymore. My dad was having to take me to work, just all this stuff. And I was already feeling low. And I was just like, great. And I shouldn't have said yes, because this
okay.
But then that led me to learning meditation. And then that led me to the next level. And so from there, that's where I now see that's where those brown girls are. Because now I foresee me doing those classes for them and doing these workshops. And so it seemed like a sucky ass experience. It was, but it also brought me to this new beautiful place. And so I'm thankful for it.
Yeah. So. And I'm so proud of you, because first of all, most people never connect the dots that way.
Oh yeah, I had to go back because I needed to make sense for me. I'm like, now wait a minute. Why did this happen like this?